Hi there, in this video we're going to look at a dialogue in Maltese and we're going to translate it word by word. So first I'm going to read it completely and then we're going to see the translations and see where I can give some extra explanations to explain certain things that are really interesting about the Maltese language. Alright, let's start. Bonjour. Bonjour Habib. Kifana. Għandix namel. X'għandek tagħmel? Irrid nipprepara għal kors tiegħi. Liema korsu? Il-kors tal-Malti. Inti titgħallem il-Malti issa? Iva. Għaliex għandek bżonn ittejjeb il-Malti tiegħek? Għax hija dejjem idea tajba li tejjeb lil sna tagħna. Għandek raġun. Tob titgħallem il-lingwi? Iva, imma ma nħobbx nitgħallem il-lingwi magħrufa. Għalhekk qiegħed nitgħallem il-Malti. Għażla tajba, ftit nies jitkellmu l-Malti. Waqt li inti hawnhekk nista' nsaqsi xi ħaġa? Mela, żgur. Xi tfisser tal-iskart? Tal-iskart, bl-Ingliż of waste. Grazzi. Tista' tużaha din f'sentenza? Per eżempju, x'taħseb fuq it-trattament tal-iskart? Fimt. X'se titgħallem fil-kors? Malti, ovvja. Imma għadni ma nafx. Mela, nawguralek fil-kors tiegħek. Grazzi, Xbin. Alright, so let's go back to the beginning and see what all these wonderful and beautiful sentences mean. Bonjour comes from French bonjour. Hi. Hello. Bonjour, Habib. Hello, friend. Habib means friend. Kifana. Kifana literally means how are we, but it means like how is it going or how are you. Kifana. Ana, that means we, and kif, how. Andi x'namel. Literally, I have some. So that's the sh here, sh, the little accent here. Namel, I do. So I have some, I do. What does that mean? Well, literally, that means I have some, I do, but together it means I have some things or some stuff to do. So Andi schnamel. Andi, I have, that's from the verb to have, is conjugated at the end of the word. So Andi, and you will see here Andek, that will be you have. Contrary to other, most Maltese verbs which are conjugated at the beginning here. Namel, tamel. But don't forget that with the other ones, they will also change here in the plural. Namlu will be we do or we make. But the N here at the beginning also changes in the present tense, past tense. Well, it's a little different and a little more, let's say, challenging. But let's continue with the dialogue here. Andi x'namel, I have something to do, I have some stuff to do. X'għandek tagħmel, literally what you have, you do. But what do you have to do? Or what are you up to? Something like that. Alright, so again, tamel, that's for the T, that's for you, the conjugation of you. Next sentence, irrid nipprepara għal kors tiegħi. I want to prepare for my course. You recognize here prepara. It looks something, it's a little bit like to prepare, right? And then course is course. So you can recognize a little bit of English, and I think it actually comes from Italian, but there are some influences you can see here, and you can understand just by knowing English. How nice. Irrid, you may wonder, well, where's the conjugation here of irrid? Where is the N? Because this means here I want to prepare for my course. Where's the I here? Well, read is one of those verbs that has no N at the beginning of the verb for the first person in the singular. So I want is read. But in the second person, you, it becomes treat. For example, she treat. What do you want? Alright, so it's one of the many exceptions and curiosities of the Maltese language. Read ni prepara. Here, ni prepara, normal. N, so ni prepara. I prepare. Maltese is special because here you see I want to prepare. We're twice going to say I want and I prepare, and that's a little bit strange because in some other languages, in English for example, if you would say he wants to prepare, you have the he that's conjugated, like he wants with an S, and then the other one would be the infinitive, to prepare. You don't say he wants to prepares. No, he wants to prepare. And in Maltese we twice conjugate the verbs, which is, well, quite different. Al course ti, for my course. Ti after the noun. And you may wonder, well, this little bar here, what does it mean actually? Why are these two words connected? Because in English you would say for my course, and alright, the my is there, so for course my, but why is it connected here? Well, because there's still an article here, il course. For example, you can see it here below, il course. Il course is the course, and in Maltese, il costiai, you can say il costiai, the course of me, something like that. So I am preparing for the course of mine, something like that. And the il, or where has it gone? Well, if you're using al, which means for, plus il, then the al will swallow the il and will just swallow the I, but you can still see here with the little dash here and the L that remain there. So that's what happened here. The I here, il course, was swallowed. And this happens with al and with some other ones with other prepositions. Good. So, next sentence, Lima course u. Which course is it? Lima, which course? Course, u, and that's it is or he is. Which course is it? Il course dal Malti, the Maltese course. So the Maltese, it's there, and course. And this is a little bit strange. Here we're going to use tal, which literally means of, so the course of Maltese. But in English, obviously, we say the Maltese course. And this ta, this is actually the same principle as with the al. Ta is just ta, but it swallows the article here, the il Malti. Il, this is simply the article, the course. But ta plus il becomes tal together. And depending on the letter just before, it will change. Maybe you've already been to Slima, a city in Malta. Sometimes you see Taslima, and because the first letter changes, then this third letter will also change. Taslima. It will be an S and not an L. Alright, so when you see ta plus some letter that is the same as the one that just followed, then you know, oh, okay, this is the ta swallowing the article. Alright, next sentence. Inti titallem il Maltese. Are you learning Maltese now? This is literally you, titallem, you learn, il Malti, di Malti, the Maltese, sorry, Isa now. And Isa is sometimes used as a little filler word like Isa, now, or like well, Isa. But do not confuse it with Isma, with an M here. When you're listening to it, you can hear Isma, that means listen. All right, so listen. I want to say something to you. All right, so inti, you may already know that you don't actually need to use this the personal prepositions in Maltese. Here you could also say the sentence Titalem il Malte Isa without this inti, because you can already see here that the T here, that means that it is about you. And you may recognize alim, or you may know the word alim, teacher. You may recognize it here. You are learning. Alem, learning, and teacher, that's rather connected to one another. So you may know that that this verb is related to the teacher, and you can use it also with other nouns and verbs, because you might recognize the key consonants, so this ein, the L and the L and the M. Alim, that's also the same consonants that use this that's the same consonants this verb uses, and it's the same that alim uses. And alim here, you would have an I in between, so the vowels will change a little bit, but consonants, the base consonants, usually remain the same. And obviously exceptions apply, but it's interesting to know that you can sometimes recognize, well, oh wait, does this have to do with teacher or teaching or something? And yes, it does. It has something to do with teaching. It means to learn. Dit alem, you learn. All right, the next word is very simple. Eva, yes. And then the next sentence, which is not as easy as Eva. Alicia andek bzon iteja pilmantitiak. Why also means because. Why do you need, andek bzon do you need, to improve iteja il Maltitiak, your Maltese? So Alish, again, why, but can also be used to say because. Andek bzon, very often used, do you need, and here that's, well, literally, do you have a need? Bzon, a need. Andek, you might remember it from here. What do you have to do? What do you have a need for? Something like that. Why do you have a need for, or do you have a need to, blah, blah, blah. So, andek bzon. And then andi bzon, I need. Very interesting and important thing to say. For example, if you need whatever you need, you say andi bzon, and then the word you use to say I need this, I need this. Itejep, and this is the same principle as with alem. Maybe you've guessed it already. Do you see here the T, double G, and the B? And this might sound a little bit familiar. Tayep, good. And itayep, itayep, that means to improve, or well, to make better, to make good, something like that. And yes, they are related. It means to improve. Why do you have a need to improve your Maltese? Tiak, your Maltese. Again, the basic consonants remain the same. This might help you to read text you don't understand. You might be like, oh, does it mean something in that direction? And, well, it might. So, it's kind of a comfort. Alright, next sentence. Ash iya deyem idea taiba li teyep lils natana. Ash, because, but it does not mean why. So, ash, because. We could have used here alish, but in the previous sentence we couldn't have used ash. So ash, because it is always idea taiba, a good idea, adjective behind the noun, to li tayab, improve, lilsna, it's a plural from tongue or language, tana are. So it's always a good idea to improve our languages. And you may wonder, well, why is there an I here and why is there no I here? Well, simply because the word before ends with an I here, well, with a vowel, and then we drop the I. All right, so Lilsnatana, our languages. Andek racun. Very important question when you want to say someone is right. Not a question. Very important thing to say. You are right. And in Maltese, you have right apparently. Andek, you have right. But andek racun and mandek racun, you're not right. Mandek racun. And well, you could conjugate it. Andi racun, I am right. Top titalam illingui. Do you like, or well, do you love titalem? You remember maybe from titalem here. Do you like to learn top titalam illingui, languages? What's the difference between ilsna and lingui? Well, ilsna comes from Arabic, lingui comes from like Italian or Roman languages. Good. Let's go scroll down a little. All right, well, let's just add here this last one so you can see the last one too. Iva, ima manopsh nitalem lingui marufa. Iva, yes, but ima manhopsh, I do not like. Well, I do not love. Maybe you know the in Hobok, I love you. That's something to say to someone you love. But yeah, here you can also use it somehow as to like. It's not as strong here. Well, man hopst niet allem lingui marufa, but I don't love to learn lingui marufa, languages, and then here marufa, known or famous, something like that. And you can also, interesting how we've already seen that nhop, it's conjugated, and niet allem, twice conjugated with n, but don't forget that if you're using the negative man hopsh, so that's ma sh, the typical way to say the negative, it's only going to be added to one verb here, man hopsh niet allem lingui marufa. Good. Alek iet niet allem il Malti. Alek, well, it's like hence or thus or yeah, something like that. Iet niet allem il Malti. I am learning Maltese. Iet, there's also a short version where you remove all of this. Ed, but iet is a long version of ed. That's to use the present continuous, like I am doing instead of I do. I am learning Maltese. Asla taiba ftit nisit kalmul Malti. Asla, a choice. Taiba, good. So good choice. Asla taiba. Ftit, few or little. Ftit nis, few people. Speak yitkalmu il Malti. So few people speak Maltese, or few people know Maltese. You can translate it as somehow like that. And here, yitkalmu, that's the conjugation on the third person in the plural, yitkalmu. So you have here the u at the end and the j up front to conjugate the verb to say, to talk. Alright? Next sentence. What li inti hawnhekk? Nista' insaqsi xi ħaġa? What li while, excuse me for if you heard the sound. What li, it means while. What li inti, you, hawnhekk, here, hawnhekk. Some people write it together. I'm not sure what's the right way. Some people write it in two words. What li inti hawnhekk, while you are here. And you may know that the verb to be isn't, well, it's a bit of a strange case. Here you don't really see the verb to be here in this sentence. And you have to think it a little bit. I see you while you are here. And then, especially with aan also, sometimes the verb to be isn't, well, no, it's not needed to conjugate the verb to be or to have it there. For example, if you would say maunch, it could mean he isn't here, and then you don't have the is. So aan could actually be put in the negative. Same so with memsh, there isn't. Maunch, he isn't here, or there is not here, something like that. So while you are here, can I ask you something? Nista insaqsi xi ħaġa. And this little thing here is an ein. So this letter that you won't see at the end of words because it is hidden here in this little thingy there. Nista insaqsi xi ħaġa. Can I? So nista. You may have already heard that word often used. Insaqsi. I ask. And xi ħaġa, sometimes pronounced sha ħaġa, something. So some, and then ħaġa, thing. Mela, das gut. Mela, you know, that's the most popular word. First word you learn, well, then, doesn't really mean anything. Das gut, for sure, like shore. You can also remove the da and simply use zgur, then it means also shore. Xit fisser taliskart. Xit fisser, very important. What does blah 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 mean? And here, what does taliskart mean? Xit fisser. In your lessons, if you're taking Maltese lessons, always ask this question. Xit fisser, what does blah 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 mean, or what's the meaning of this? Taliskart. So we're not going to translate it, it will be translated in the dialogue. Taliskart. So taliskart. Blinglies. In English, blinglies of waste. So that's what it means. Taliskart. Of waste. And you can see here, ta, it swallows the il, the I here, the article a little bit. Taliskart. Grazie. Thank you. And then tista tu zaha din sentenza. Well, this should actually be, whoops, like this. It's one sentence of the same person. Grazie, thank you. Tista tu zaha din sentenza. Can you, so tista with the T. Remember here, nista, that's I can. Tista, can you. Tuza. Uza, you can kind of recognize it from English. To use. Tuza, can you use it, din, or use this in a sentence? And the ha, the ha here that you see, that's referring to the word taliskart. So can you use it? And in Maltese, yeah, that's a little bit complicated. You add this to the previous word here, the verb. Tuzaha. So it actually has nothing to do with the verb. It's not a conjugation of the verb or anything. It's can you use it? In English you would separate use and it. But in Maltese you add them, and it makes the learning Maltese a little challenging, let's say. But yeah, so you have to add this ha at the end. Same so for I, for me, becomes ni or I, and then U becomes ek or ok or some other ones, and a, it means it's the female. Can you use it? And a well, refers to the word. So tu za ha. Din, this, in the female. Sentenza, f, that's in. And sentenza, well, it looks a lot like the word sentence. So it means sentence. Can you use it, or can you use this in a sentence? And then the person that answers will reply, per esempio, for example, Staħseb fuq it-trattament tal-iskart. What do you think? Staħseb, what? Taħseb, you think. Fuq is about or on. It-trattament tal-iskart. It-trattament is a treatment. Looks a little bit like treatment. Taliskart, the treatment of waste, like waste treatment. And here, this is one of those, and when you have an article, the T here, because the noun starts with a T, it changes the L into a T. So if you would add ta to treatment of the treatment, then it would become dat tratament, T-A-T, and then the dash tratament. So here tal, because it's liskart and not tiskart, so that's a little bit special. All right. Vind, understood. That's the past tense, literally I understood, but well, in English, understood, or okay, something like that. Vind. And in the past tense, then the conjugations would come at the end here. Vind. So that's the T that indicates that it's either I or you. Zet course. What are you going to learn in the course? What? Se, that's to indicate the future tense. Dit alem, you learn. Fi, fil course, il course. So fil is also one of those words that kind of swallow the or add it to the article. It becomes fil and then with a dash course. And you might be like, wait, why is there a sentenza and why is it fil course? Well, simply because here, thank you, can you use it in a sentence, not in the sentence? You're asking for a sentence, not a specific sentence. And here, it's the course. What are you going to learn in the course? It's not what are you going to learn in a course. No, it's in the course of Maltese. So that's why you add the il here and here. There is no article here, and actually it would become fis sentenza in the sentence, because the s is also one of those letters that changes when it's the article is sentenza, the sentence, and it would become fis sentenza. I can actually show you fis sentenza, something like that. And well, the editor that I'm using doesn't know Maltese, unfortunately. So it says it's wrong, but it is right. And let's put it back here, sentenza. Whoop, there you go. There you go. And then the editor, the spelling corrector will be right. All right, good. And then the last few lines. What are you learning in the course? Well, Maltese, ovvia, Malti, ovvia, Maltese. Obviously, ovvia comes from the long version ovviament, obviously, and you might hear this also a lot. Imma għadni ma nafx, but I still don't know. Ma nafx, useful, I don't know. And għadni, still, in English you're not going to conjugate still. Still is still, whether it's I, you, he, or we, or they. You're not going to conjugate it, but in Maltese it is conjugated, and it's a little bit strange, because here you have the ad ni, because I still don't know. So adni is still, but remember it can change according to the person that you would like to put still with. Alright, mela nou gralek fil kostiak. Mela, you know that by now. Nou gralek fil kostiak means something like good luck in your course, something like that. Now, guralek, you would also say, well, like congratulations, something like that. And then in fil kostiak, your course. Then grazie bin, thank you, mate or pal or friend, something like that. All right, let's read it again. Whoop, boom, boom. There you go. Bonjour, bonjour Habib, kifana. Andi shnamel, shandek tamel. Irrit ne prepara al kors tiegħi. Li ma korsu, il-kors tal-Malti. Inti titgħallem il-Malti issa. Iva, għaliex għandek bżonn ittejjeb il-Malti tiegħek? Għax hija dejjem idea tajba li tejjeb l-ilsna tagħna. Għandek raġun. Tob titgħallem il-lingwi? Iva, ma nobx nitgħallem lingwi magħrufa, għalhekk jiet nitgħallem il-Malti. Għażla tajba, ftit nies li jitkellmu l-Malti. Waqt li inti hawnhekk nista' nsaqsi xi ħaġa? Mela, da żgur. Xi tfisser tal-iskart? Tal-iskart, bl-Ingliż of waste. Grazzi. Tista' tużaha din f'sentenza? Pereżempju, x'taħseb fuq it-trattament tal-iskart? Fimt. X'se titgħallem fil-kors? Malti ovvja. Imma għadni ma nafx mela. Nawguralek fil-kors tiegħek. Grazie, Spin. So, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more of these videos, feel free to click on the playlist that you see appearing, and, well, see you there.